this video we will be discussing about economic integration, which is part of international economics. And this is like economic integration concept is related to the international business, international economics aspects. And now let us see what is economic integration and what are various phases under economic integration. So when economic integration, as the name suggests, is an arrangement among the nation that typically includes reduction or elimination of trade barrier and coordination of monetary and fiscal policies. So if there are any kind of trade barriers existing, that is being rearranged, and that is through economic integration. Okay, it is a arrangement among the nations, typically including the reduction of the trade barriers or eliminating the trade barriers and also coordinating the monetary and fiscal policies. That is economic integration, and it is also known as regional integration because it occurs among the neighborhood countries. And when we are considering economic integration, we can have a formula for considering or calculating the economic integration, the level of economic integration, that is common market plus fixed exchange rate plus macroeconomic coordination. So what is common market, we will be discussing within this video itself. So a summation of these three will give you economic integration: common market plus fixed exchange rate plus macroeconomic coordination. So that is economic integration. And when we consider the economic integration, there are various phases for economic integration, and most prominently the phases are like 5. It includes free trade, customs union, common market, economic union and political union. Okay, and out of this, the free trade, when we consider the level of integration, the integration is very less in free trade and integration is very high when it comes to the political union, because when it is a political union, it is a common government, the integration will be very high. And when we consider the complexity also, the free trade, the complexity is very less, and when it comes to the political union, the complexity is very high. So here in the free trade, we will be having reduction of tariffs between the members. Okay, and when it is coming the customs union, it is basically a combination of free trade area along with the common external tariff. And when it comes to the common market, that will be along with the customs union, we will be having a free mobility, free movement of goods and services, and there will be different national regulations. And when it comes to the economic union, it is like European Union is an example of economic union, where there is no barrier for internal trade, there is free movement of labor, there is harmonized tax rate, there is common monetary and fiscal policy. That is when it comes to the economic union. And when it is a political union, there is a common government. So these are the various phases of the economic integration. Okay, so we will see in detail. First we have the free trade area. So when free trade area, we know that there is reduction of tariff between members. Okay, so ASEAN is partially a free trade area, NAFTA, Mercosur, all these are examples of free trade area. Now we will see what is free trade area. It is a region encompassing a trade bloc. Trade bloc is basically a international agreement between the countries for eliminating, intergovernmental agreement for eliminating the trade barriers. That is basically a trade bloc. And so free trade is a region encompassing the trade bloc whose members have signed a free trade agreement. Okay, so intergovernmental agreement for eliminating the trade barrier is a trade bloc, and free trade is a region which is having this which is encompassing this trade bloc and where the members have signed the free trade agreement. And when we are considering this free trade area, this is involving the cooperation between at least 2 countries for reducing trade barrier. So when there is reducing trade barrier, this import quotas, tariff, all these will be reduced, and this through reducing the import quota, trade tariffs and all, there will be increase in goods and service, trade of goods and service and each other. So free trade areas agreement is involving cooperation between at least 2 countries, and they are reducing the trade barriers or by removing the tariff, removing the import quota, and thus there will be better trade taking place between these countries. Okay, so when we are considering the free trade area, the formula for calculating it is customs union minus common external tariff. Okay, so what is customs union? So that need to be understood, right? That we will be discussing. So free trade area formula, suppose if we are having a question to calculate free trade area and you are given with information like custom union and external tariff, the formula for calculating the free trade is customs union minus external tariff. That will give you free trade area. Now moving on to customs union. So we know that free trade area means customs union minus common external tariff. Then what is customs union? So in customs union is basically a type of trade bloc. So we know what is trade bloc, right? which is composed of a free trade area with common external tariff. Okay, in free trade area there is no external tariff. It is basically a trading block with free trade. There is no external tariff. But when it comes to the customs union, it's a free trade area with common external tariff. So free trade area plus common external tariff will give you customs union. And the participant countries are setting up a common external trade policy, and it is a common external trade policy. So the participant countries will be setting up a common external trade policy or common external tariff. So a free trade area with the common external tariff set by the member countries will give you the customs union, and it increases economic efficiency and establish closer political and cultural ties. So example of the customs union is South African Customs Union, Gulf Cooperation Council, etc. Because there what happened, there is a free trade area. That means there is a cooperation of two or at least two countries relating to the reducing the trade barriers. They were reducing the import quotas by taking over the tariffs, etc. and increasing the trade, and along with that there is a common external tariff set decided by the member countries. So example, we are having South African Customs Union, Gulf Cooperation Council, etc. The formula for calculating customs union is free trade area plus the common external tariff which is decided by the member countries. Okay, so that is it, free trade area plus common external tariff. So again, it is the member countries or the participant countries, okay, countries which are participating in the trade, they are deciding that common external trade policy, and that common decided common external tariff will be added with the free trade area to get the customs union. Next we have the common market. So what is common market? It is a group formed by countries within a geographical area to promote duty-free trade and free movement of capital and labor among its members. So how common market is different from the customs union is, in the customs union we have a free trade area and a common external tariff. Along with that, free mobility of goods and services is allowed in the common market. So a group formed by countries within a geographical area to promote duty-free trade and free movement of capital and labor among its members is common market, and with some single market policies and product regulation, freedom of movement of the factors of production. So when we consider the common market, in this common market there is a free mobility of goods and services, there is a free mobility of factors of production like capital and labor within the participant countries. Okay, so that is common market. So this is also another phase of economic integration. So customs union plus the free factor mobility will be giving you the common market, and the physical, technical and fiscal barriers are removed to the maximum when it comes to the common market. Okay, so in common market what is happening, all kinds of like physical borders, physical aspect borders, the technical aspect, the standard aspects, the fiscal aspect like taxes, all will be removed to the maximum, and large amount of, but even though if these things are removed, there exists a large amount of trade barriers, and when the common market is considered, it is removing all kinds of tariffs and quota, and it is the first stage of single market also. So in common market is the first, so there is a question angle which is the first stage of single market, that is common market. And when common market is calculated, it is customs union plus free factor mobility. So this is how we distinguish between these various phases. First one in free trade area is basically customs union minus common external tariff. Customs union is basically free trade area plus common external tariff, and when it comes to common market it is customs union plus free factor mobility. So even though all the tariffs quotas are eliminated, still there are large amount of trade barriers existing in the common market, and it's the first stage of the common market, a single market. And another key point to be noted is there is a free mobility of the goods between the participant countries when it comes to the common market. So that is a key point. So it is a group formed by the countries within a geographical area to ensure free mobility of the goods, the free movement of the goods, duty-free movement of goods along with the factors of production like labor and capital. And now moving on to the last phase. Now basically the last phase is political union, but when the major key phase, important four phases are free trade area, customs union, common market and economic union. So in that angle we are discussing about economic union, that is, it's an agreement between two or more nations to allow goods, services, money and workers to move over borders freely. So there is a free capital mobility, there is there is a customs union, that is there is a free trade area, there is a common external tariff, there is free capital mobility. That means there is a common market plus an harmonized union, okay, harmonized policy will be forming an economic union. There is a coordination between the countries, activities between the countries. All that is forming an economic union, because the countries may also coordinate social and financial policies to support this common market. So there is a macroeconomic coordination between these countries, and that will give you a economic union. And then harmonized policy along with the common market will give you economic union. So all tariffs are removed for trade between member countries, creating a uniform market. Example, the best example for economic union is European Union, where all the barriers are removed between the member countries for having a uniform trade or uniform market. And when all the kinds of coordination in the fiscal and monetary aspects of coordination exist when it comes to the economic union. The monetary and fiscal policy between member countries are harmonized, which implies a level of political integration, and therefore the economic union can be calculated by common market along with a harmonized policy plus harmonized policy, macroeconomic coordination, that will give you a economic union. And this with a fixed exchange rate will give you an economic integration, which is the overall aspect is economic integration. That is, we know the when we discussed a fixed economic integration is basically, initially we have seen the fixed common market plus fixed exchange rate plus macroeconomic coordination. This macroeconomic coordination is a harmonized policy plus the fixed exchange rate will be giving you the economic integration. Okay, so key points to be noted in this is the formulas. The first one, what is economic integration? It is common market plus macroeconomic coordination or harmonized policy plus fixed exchange rate. And that within that economic integration we have various phases, that is free trade area with the low complexity or lower level of integration to the political union, that is a common government, and that is first is free trade area, then customs union, then common market, then economic union and the political union. And free trade area's formula is customs union minus common external tariff, and when customs unions are considered, it is free trade area plus common external tariff. And when common market is considered, it is the customs union plus the free mobility of the factors of production or goods and services. And when it comes to the economic union, it is the common market plus the harmonized policy. So that is all about the economic integration. Key points to be noted about economic integration from the examination point of view. Thank you.